All right, good people. Welcome back to Kingly Conversations, man. Your local dose, not even your local dose, really, your global dose of just some good conversation every single week. Listen, again, we are excited that you chose to take some time out of your day to spend with us and listen to just some ideas, man, and the different thoughts. I mean, the thing that I think is cool is you get three different people's perspectives from three different life views all coming together to say, well, this is why, I think this is important. This is why I don't think this is important. And then you can govern yourselves accordingly.
So make your own decisions.
Exactly. That's what it should be. I mean, that's how I do, and so you're able to do the same thing here with us every single week. So of course, I'm Alan. I didn't introduce myself last time, but I am Alan, and we've got.
Yeah, what up? It's your boy Twan Alfonso, also known as Twin.
It's your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill. So smooth.
Your friend, your mentor. Your R&B DJ.
I look forward to that.
It's the quiet storm. All right, let's go, man.
Yeah,
let's go.
We're gonna have a quick one for everybody today. I know normally we normally go sort of like an hour, but we're trying something new. We're gonna try to stick with 30 minutes today.
Yeah,
get
so
you in, get you out. Get
just
you
a nice drive to work for some of you.
Nice drive to work, and let's do it while you're in your barber chair. If you don't have a conversation with your barber, whatever you're gonna do.
All right, so today's topic is life's balance. Who came up with this?
I don't know
who came up with it. I think it was me.
But, okay.
That's all good. Episode 23. Jordan. All right, so
fade away.
I guess we'll get into the ups and downs of life as far as finding that balance. Calvin, what you got?
This is a beautiful topic to me, the ups and downs of life, because life has a way of balancing you out automatically, and people don't identify it and don't take the time to appreciate it.
What do you mean balancing you out?
All right, for example, look at the extremes in your life. Look at the extreme good, something positive going on in your life. At the same time, you recently experienced something bad and you don't see it. And most people either focus on the negative or they focus on the positive. I am extremely grateful now because I have identified so many balances. It's like life's way of giving you the good and the bad. Whenever you have a tremendous or a serious tragedy in your life, just hold on. Just wait just a little while, because that means you have something extremely good coming your way. Now, that works in reverse also. If you have something extremely good happen to you, somewhere along the way, you have the bad that comes with it. You have to learn to appreciate both of them. That keeps you emotionally balanced, that keeps you spiritually balanced, and that keeps you from focusing one way or the other, or too far one way or the other. Because being overly positive isn't being real, isn't being realistic. Being overly negative just sends you into a depression. It tears your life up. So if you take time to look at the ups and downs of your life, and they come in cycles, it's just like anything else. They happen in cycles. You got recessions, you got depressions, you got those middle moments. Appreciate them, man. Love them. Enjoy them. Enjoy them, because they change. And I've noticed family members around me that have done great things, bought wonderful houses, and all of a sudden they got all this money. Life is good, but something inside of their life is terrible. They can't take it. So they end up destroying all the good they had, focusing in on that one negative moment. So we have to come to that place of balance, happy life balance. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. It happens to us all. So what you got?
What I got is prepare for that balance. I think preparation in your ups and preparation in your downs will help you get through a little easier. It'll help you coast those stormy weathers. So, I mean, my ups, I guess, looking back on my past, comparing it to now, and looking forward to the future, I can say that there's levels to it. Because in the beginning, my lows were really low, like really low. Like I might not be here tomorrow low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then those ups may have been at the time sufficient to get through those really low times. Now, moving forward to the present, my lows, I don't get as low as I in the past. Like for now, I'll never get back to that low that I was in my past because like you said, you learn from it. So in doing so, I've been able to grow in my negative times or my down times. So now in reverse, looking at the upside is also better now because learning from those things in my past, ups and downs, I have become a better problem solver. So with that, my ups are like really up,
So
and my lows are not as low.
So did you use some of your up moments in life to get you through those down moments now?
I had to learn what ups were because
You had to experience them.
I had to experience them.
Okay. So it sounded like to me you got most of your downs early.
Yes, a
And
lot
up
of
front.
it. From
So that-
childhood up to about my 30s.
So that's
late 30s.
That's exciting to me because that lets me know the other end of my life gonna be sky high. Sky high. Because life is just. Life is just. It rains on the just as well as the unjust. It happens to all of us. But people have to see and live through it. Like, never give up, man. Don't ever stop living. Don't ever stop pushing forward because life is bad.
Got you.
Get to that because I've been homeless, living in the car.
I can relate.
I know what that's like.
Yes.
I know what it's like. Eat oodles and noodles 3 days.
Oodle noodle.
Oodle noodles. Hey man, because I was eating them babies for breakfast. I would put eggs in it. That was that was breakfast.
Bro.
Are you traumatized by that?
No,
You should
I
go have
appreciate.
some actual ramen. You should go have actual ramen. Like,
Is it good?
Ramen's
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, I
Go
have
to a
never
Japanese
had
spot.
that.
Oh,
I never
really
had-
good. It's
Look,
totally different.
I was eating potted meat. I would
Yeah.
add some Vienna sausages
Yeah.
to the oodles and noodles. That'll be my lunch. And then you know what I had for dinner?
oodles and noodles.
Oodles and noodles by themselves, boy. It was I was living like that. And then I was living in the 88 tempo. So that was my life.
I remember that 88 tempo.
Yeah. I had my 2 trash bags of clothes in the back, in the trunk. People ain't know it. I would show up to drill. I would get a shower at the WOW or in the bathroom somewhere, come to work. Probably be a little funky, but I was working hard, so people couldn't tell the difference. They thought it was just sweat. But hey, man, I lived through it, and then I got the other end. It started to come around slowly. And so I'm looking forward to my latter years because I think they're going to be extremely high.
Before I ask Ellen this question, I also want to add that the preparation part helps me see when the downs are coming, and they help me
To prepare
see
for it.
the ups when they're coming. That's all I wanted to add. Alan, what you got on the ups and downs of life? What do you?
So when I think of the ups and downs of life, I actually think of a song. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm just gonna tell you the lyrics. And some of you out there may know this song, but it goes like this: I've had some good days.
Oh, man, I didn't even think of that.
And I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, and I won't complain.
Well, we need an organ right now.
We do. But that is, I tell people, like, that is one of my favorite pieces, because it puts, for me at least, it puts things in such a perspective that, yeah, there are going to be some crying moments. There are going to be some times that things didn't go the way you want them to go. But when you look around and you think things over, for the vast majority of people, all of your good days outweigh your, because even when you it's not like you can't be living in a terrible situation and not still have good days.
Right.
Right.
So my thing is I won't complain. So I think that balance is important. I think that it's impossible to have good without bad as well. Like you can't fly without gravity. You know what I'm saying? So, so for me, that song is always a constant reminder that regardless of what's going on, it's still all good.
And if you're going through a bad time, you're listening right now, you may be going a bad time in your life or a bad spot. It seems like you had a stretch of bad luck. Take every moment you can to enjoy something. Whenever there's somebody around you and they're laughing and joking, take that brief moment to laugh and joke too. Those little moments get you through those hard times as well.
They do.
So also, family time. Where we going with that one as far as life balance?
Make time for family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. No, I'm joking.
Make time for family.
I will say, go ahead, Alan. Nope.
Okay, fine. Well, I mean, I was just gonna say that. I mean, yeah, I think that, and it can be tough, right, to balance. And sometimes I don't think that when we talk about balance, I think a lot of people think that there's a 50-50 in that. And I don't think that there's necessarily a 50-50 because, for an example, if you've got, let's say you are a business owner, you've got a goal, you got a deadline, you got to meet, you might be spending far more time at your business than you might like to spend at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. But then once you've reached that milestone, now you might have a 2-week vacation plan where there is no work at all. And it's just family time. Right. And so I think it's really you have to be priority conscious, and priorities can shift and change in the moment. But that gives you that balance. And some people equate time with quality, and that time quantity is not necessarily the same as time quality. Right. So if you are spending time with family, but nobody's actually paying attention to each other, nobody's having conversation, nobody's really doing anything, y'all just in the same room.
So you saying just sitting in front of the TV with your family and just sitting there on your phone, that's not the same?
It depends on the family, because some people, they like, so me and my wife, we have shows that we watch together. Mm-hmm. And that is for us quality time spent, right? But then if I don't know how other people do it. So
yeah,
so it depends on the people. So if your thing is you want to do something other than that, then for you that's not quality time. If you say if you would rather go to the park, but they don't want to go to the park or whatever the case is, then it's not really time quality. Then at that point it becomes time quantity. And those are not necessarily the same thing. And I think we get confused by it a lot of time because we are, especially with the preponderance and the ubiquity of our mobile devices, we can certainly be in a space and not actually be in a space. Mm-hmm. You can
Facts.
you can be there and not be there. It's so easy to be there and not be there with the devices that we have. And sometimes you'll be there and something pop in your mind. Now let me take care of this real quick. And next thing you know, 10 minutes later, you're still taking care of a thing. And now you're neglecting that time quality for time quantity.
Well, I've seen people neglect time altogether, mess with TikTok, Facebook, and everything else, and they spouse sitting right there.
I mean, that's possible. And I'm not. Here's the thing. I mean, the thing about it is, you have to have that conversation if it's an issue for you, because it's clearly not an issue for that other person, right? So if it's an issue for you, then you have to say, hey, I mean, maybe you decide on, maybe you say, okay, at these times it's going to be family time. Everybody's going to put their phones away.
Turn the Wi-Fi off.
If they got a regular device, that ain't gonna matter. They still got Verizon or AT&T or Mint Mobile or Bing or whatever they got.
Let me get one of those devices that shut all the cell phone signals.
You'd have to have that wired into your house, though.
I'm gonna get one.
But see,
what you need is a EMP device that
kills
everything.
The nuclear option. but that's true.
I got you. Real quick, I just also, while you was talking, Alan, I'm thinking that grind with a purpose, like as far as making the time for a family. Like for me, in the beginning, for work, I'm going to tie work and family in together to kind of, go with this whole balance thing. I would work constantly. For me, family time was making the bacon or trying to make sure the family's good, money wise, financial wise.
Providing.
So providing. So that was the main focus, and family was not, and it was on the lower spectrum of balance.
And that was your definition.
At the time, yes.
What was their definition?
I couldn't tell you.
I think that's key
Because
that's
it was
kind of
never,
the point.
like he said, it was never expressed.
Yeah.
That communication was not there. So for me, that's all I had, and it didn't work out.
I heard something. It's funny where I get all this stuff from because I'm kind of like a sponge for good information. But a guy named Darren Kidd, he said that children spell love Time. And I was like, now didn't have any children then, don't have any children yet, but I was like, oh. And I started to think back on my own childhood, and I'm like, yeah, all the things I remember, were my parents spending time with me. Mm-hmm. The memories that I have that I still hold on to, or that are most in the forefront of my memory, is not when they bought me anything. It's not when they did anything outlandish for me. It was just the small moments of time when they really could have been doing anything else if they wanted to.
But they took time out.
They took time out.
Right. And I think that's important. Well, for me, because I have 3 kids, to manage how I spend time with each of them because they're different.
Yeah.
And especially having a 21-year-old, that dude be 21. He's 21 now. He's already 21. So it's
But you know how KK side do now.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So it's a different way of spending time with him now, and it's harder than my 11 and 12-year-old.
Now, does that bring you any like sorrow because you might want to spend more time? I'm asking for myself. I'm not really asking for them.
Well, no, because I feel like I spent the proper amount of time with him growing up through time. So when he became an adult, I kind of slowly tapered off the time. I did it intentionally because now I have to see you develop as a man. And as a man, I can't coddle you and have you hovering over you while you're trying to develop, especially your time in college. No, you can't hang around me because I don't want your opinion, my opinions and influence to override what you're learning and what you're changing into. It's more of a hands-off approach as you become a man because I want to see what he becomes and what he's becoming. I can see it. I like some of it. I don't agree with all of it, but he's becoming his own person. That's what college and that experience.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the other two, these jokers are night and day. These are 2 different dudes. I got dealing. Ones that I can see.
Tell.
Yeah, I can tell. One's that Marine Corps Calvin, like, don't say nothing to me the wrong way or you're going to catch this. And I like it, but I'm going to give you these hands.
I gotta ask. I have to ask. Which one is that?
That's Caden. He got a fight in him, but I like it. He got an aggression about him. He got a
gentle giant.
No, ain't no gentle giant.
No,
he got a self drive and he put it like this. His self will is so strong, it'll get him lumped up.
Oh yeah, I mean
yeah. Okay. That's how strong minded.
Meat lumped.
Yeah, he got a very strong mind.
Very opinionated.
No, he's not opinionated. Well, he won't tell it yet. It'll come out later.
Of course, he's still in his parents' house.
Yeah, he's still in my house. So,
and that's another thing.
And it might still come out in your house. He might have to be like 16, 17.
Right, but he gonna catch these hands by then.
Oh Lord,
that's why you stay in the gym. That's why you stay.
I stay in the gym for the boys. I don't stay in the gym for nothing else.
I told people I was like when I had kids, I'm gonna start taking karate, Aikido, everything. Like, you ain't coming for me.
Yes, sir.
You gonna catch these hands. You gonna catch these 80-year-old hands if I need to, but you gonna catch hands.
Well, I got a question because for me it's totally opposite. For my oldest daughter Alana, like I don't have that connection. Like as far as the time that was spent, I don't know. Well, apparently the time wasn't good time. I guess it was quantity versus quality in that regards, because now I can't get her to text me.
All right, but this is where you have to kind of take into account the time I did up until now. The time I did spend with her was it more good times than bad times? And take a real self-evaluation. And then you have to deliberately change it. So every interaction, I have to deliberately make it good.
Well,
Until it gets to the point where now when she sees me, she sees positivity. I can say that in my own life on both ends.
well, see, I don't know, because in the beginning, it was good, like when she was younger, but as she got older, it was like
It changed.
disconnection. Yeah.
Right.
So then I started doing things differently, like just for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mindset, like, because at the time I was down and low, I was like, yo, how can I take care of you when I can't take care of myself?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's when I started making changes. And then the more changing I did to get better, the more we got distant.
Right. Because she was probably familiar with you at this stage.
The clown.
Right. So when it changed,
The F-boy.
you changed.
I did change.
So now the relationship changed.
Right.
And it never adjusted to the point, okay, well, this is a new me. And now we have to renegotiate our relationship.
I'll tell you what, I had a conversation with Ashley, and I think it was the disconnect was me. Like you said, I started to change. So I started holding myself accountable. And then I translated it to holding her accountable, and she didn't like that.
An automatic disconnect.
I don't think she likes that because.
But that's where I try to tell people, okay, if you're gonna change, especially if you're in a relationship and you've been working some marriages, if you're gonna change, tell the person, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm about to do. I'm changing this way, and this is where I'm headed. Now you have a decision to make. This is what I am gonna do, but you have to decide how you're gonna handle me now. As my relationship and as our relationship evolves, are you going to evolve with it, or are you going to stay
and
back
that's
to that
exactly
forced
what
change?
happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened because she knew the direction I was going and what I was doing. She saw it because of my actions.
Okay.
So she made that. I'm not saying it's good or bad for me.
Right.
Like either way, I wish the best for you.
Right.
But I understand that for me in my head, I think I did what I could do at the time with what I had, and if that wasn't good enough, I don't.
But
I
that's
ain't
a
got
child
nothing for
too.
you.
Like you got to let life love them, always love them, but let life get a hold of them too. And then most of the time, if
Alan,
you deal
you
with
was
them out
about
of
to say
love, go ahead, Alan.
I mean, I was going to say the same thing I've said, I'm sure, before. I mean, my thing is always, and this is for every one of your relationships in the entirety of your life, is that people either grow together or they grow apart.
That's right.
And that's always going to be the case. It's one of those things that I say are principles, and principles aren't really violatable by societies. But that's what it is. It's how can two walk together unless they agree on something, right? Because I can recall, back at a time when I wasn't. I'll say studied
What?
in biblical studies, right? I made an intentional. He doesn't know this. He might if he listens to the podcast, but I had made an intentional decision that I wasn't going to talk to my dad that often. But it's only because I had been in the church long enough to know that sometimes you would get a prophetic word, we'll say. And I was like, I don't want him to know what I'm up here doing. So I'm just not going. In my child mind, right? If I don't have to talk to him, then maybe God won't tell him nothing.
Okay.
So it can't. So I say that because sometimes the child can intentionally be like, oh, I need to cut off communication because I don't want you to know what's going on with me. And I was living in my mother's house, so it wasn't, I wasn't out here robbing banks, busting people in the head or nothing. But I was certain that I was probably living in a way that would not be pleasing to him. And so I was just like, well, I ain't gonna talk to him. Not that I wasn't gonna not do what I was gonna do,
Right? But I ain't gonna talk to him, so he don't know.
So he don't know.
Yeah.
Which in hindsight, at 40, sounds foolish. But I was like 15.
Right.
And your mind is not fully developed until you're in your 20s.
And that was the point I was about to make. Kids, like you have to.
Kids are crazy.
You have to see them for what they are. They're children. They're learning.
And
they're
that's
moldable.
exactly
They're being
why-
influenced.
And that's exactly why I don't trip.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the disconnect. I understand the disconnect, and I was going to say, for Alan, in that era or in that time frame, social media wasn't really popping.
Yeah.
So now,
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're doing, even though if you're not telling me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you telling on
I
yourself.
have intentionally taken any social. I don't follow any of it because for me, it's disturbing to see
Okay.
that you think you're grown now and you can do whatever you want to, and by all means, do you, boo boo, but don't expect me
To get along with it.
to accept all the things that you're doing. And I think that's another part of the disconnect is because I want you to be accountable, and I want you to be for all that you're doing, and I want you to be successful. However.com, with your words are telling me one thing, but your actions are completely contrasting. So you got like you said, love them and just I'm here regardless. But in regards to family, I did want to say that because you talked about the kids,
and that's
make your family time.
One last thing about kids, because I love all three of my sons, Caleb, Caden, and Chance. I love them to death, and each of their personalities are unique, and I try to hone in on their own particular uniqueness. I give them basic principles, but with their character and who they are and what I can see now, I try to push them into an area of life that enhances those characteristics. And try not to focus so much on their negative characteristics, but kind of push them into what they're good at or whatever else.
It's a team effort too, by the way.
No, definitely. But all of that,
balance,
all of that,
Angie,
right? It's a balance,
right.
but that was intentional from day one. It was always okay because we started so young. We had a kid in high school. Most people, I would not tell anybody to do that. You absolute fool.
A kid having a kid.
Yeah, because you're a child. You're a fool. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have good sense. You thinking with your pee-pee.
This
like,
dude said pee-pee.
Yeah, I did. For all you little boys out here.
What's your little pee-pee?
You love pee-pee. You better put it up. You better put it up.
Wrap it
Don't
up.
think with that. Don't have sex until you're married. I understand why they say that. Now they ain't in our society. It ain't. That's not the way it went down, and that's not the way life is. Okay, realistically,
I don't know that it ever was.
Right, it won't. But the reason why,
I understand the reason why.
yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying now. Like the reason I would say that is because, hey, little boy, once you start having sex, you become a crackhead. Just give me that drop. Hey, I'm being a dad right now. Y'all can see what y'all want to say.
You're scaring the kids.
Hey,
scaring the little children.
Stop.
Get Calvin.
Stop.
Crackhead in the sense that now that you have tasted the forbidden fruit,
that old
you would like to have more tastes of the forbidden fruit. And for some people, as many as possible of the forbidden fruit.
Look. Leave it alone until you chase the world. I mean, go chase your dream, go accomplish stuff. Do that. All right, let's move on.
Chasing your dreams and accomplishing stuff, a good segue. Work and business in regards of a balance. Alan, what are your thoughts in regards of the balance of work or business or both?
I mean, I think it depends on what it is that you do. The problem with work in American society is you gonna work at least 8 hours a day. That's just, unless you have a part-time gig that actually can pay all your bills, you're going to work 8 hours a day. To me, that's already unbalanced. Not because you are working for 8 hours. That's not the part of it that's unbalanced. It's because most people go to work for 8 hours to do something they would rather not do.
What?
And so I shouldn't say most people. Like I happen to like what I do at work, which is why I'm still there. But I know a lot of people begrudge going in. What I like about what I do is I constantly have to use my mind to figure out problems and then solve those problems, me and the team of two that I supervise. So I constantly am having to evaluate, reevaluate, question, ask outside opinions. I'm constantly having to do that. So it keeps my mind engaged. But when I was in a call center, when I was at Canon ITS,
Shout out to.
I mean, I didn't have to think about nothing. They call in, oh I got a lens error. All right, let me go ahead and get you this RMA. That was it. There was no, let's try to fix it. It was nothing. There was my mind wasn't engaged at all, especially not after like the first 6 months, because you get the same calls all the time for the same things all the time. And some people are okay. I just wasn't okay. So I think that work-life balance depends on what you're doing. So I don't mind spending the 8 hours currently. However, .com, as Twan says right here.
Come on with it.
I still value the goal.
Talk about
is still freedom.
What is it?
Freedom.
Huh?
Freedom.
Say it again.
Let freedom ring.
Is this volume up all the way?
No.
Did he say it?
Turn me up on my headphones. Freedom. Freedom is still the goal. But the reason freedom is the goal is because the life that I would want to live is a life where you can do what you want, when you want, with the people that you want to do it with.
Talk about it.
And I think that, to me, is that balance. So even though all the businesses that I have don't need me to be there at all in order for them to run. Like, I don't even need to be present for them to run. Only thing I need to do is, as long as I have an internet connection, I can run in most of the businesses that my name is on. There's only like one that I can't really from afar, but I'm sure that can be rectified with some different software and some other stuff. But but that's always been my thing, is I wanted to have the freedom that, okay, if we went to South Africa, for an example, let's say we went to Cape Town, me and my spouse, or me and whomever, right? Me and my children, friends, whatever. I wanted to be able to get up. Okay, I need to work for 2 hours, so I might work from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Rest of the day is mine. Or I might, like, even when we travel now, sometimes it's because I know I get up far earlier than my wife will. If we naturally wake up, I'll get up far earlier than she will. So I'll wake up at 7 or 8, and I'll do my work. Then when she gets up, I'm done. That's it. Just depends on if I'm working on my business stuff. Once she gets up, I'm done. Now, does it have to be that way? It depends on what we have planned. So I just think that you have to figure out your own balance, because, again, I think it go back to that priority. What priority does it have in your life, more so than how much time are you spending doing it? Because to me, 8 hours, most people that work 8-hour days, they really only work like 2 hours anyway. You spend the other 6 hours just kind of
hanging around,
waiting on stuff. I spend more time watching percent bars tick by than I do doing a lot of stuff.
Well, as far
I can't relate.
That's because
Let's move on. Let's just move on.
Work-life balance for you, though, before I get in?
Work balance for me. Let me just say this. I'm thinking about it and letting the process. I've learned that work is not 100% of what I need to be doing. Like I said before it was a matter of I needed to do this and I couldn't take, even when I was sick, I would go to work. Like I would be, no matter what, I was at work. Again, it goes back to my work ethic in what I was taught. You don't work, you don't eat. So I had a mentality of, you got to work. You got to work no matter what. You have to work. So I've learned that that's not the healthiest of choices, and I've learned to separate my work. So when I'm there 100%. I'm working. I'm engaged. But when I leave work,
that's it.
That's it.
Let it go.
That is it. Don't call. Don't text. Well, sometimes I do get texts, and sometimes I do get calls because that's the nature of the job. But I've learned to separate myself from work and still not get lost in it to the point where I lose myself. That was really unhealthy for me. I did that for AT&T when I was a wire technician. Man, I had a mental breakdown because it was all about AT&T work. Even when I was off the clock, I was still working because we had work devices and customers would still like hit you up like, yo, I got a problem. I need you to fix it. And if you didn't fix it or couldn't fix it outside of them having to call in and getting a trouble ticket, then that would go against us. And those numbers, and those numbers will go against us. So as a technician, we would always have to try to figure out how to fix it before it got to that point. Oh no, you don't have to do that. I'll swing by tomorrow, or I'll do this and that and the third, just to avoid that. So, like I said,
So
it
they
was
actually had them
constantly-
calling y'all, like reaching out to y'all directly.
We had work phones. They provided
They
us.
gave you,
Yeah,
they
no,
gave you
I
the way
get
to
that.
contact.
Yes,
I'm just-
direct contact.
Oh, that
Direct
definitely
contact.
sounded like Nielsen. That was.
Yeah. So, like I said, it wore me to the point where, and I had a lot of other things, family and other things going on. So, I had a breakdown. So now understanding how being so engaged in work can mentally drain you, physically drain you. I lost a lot of weight. Like I've learned that is not I can't do that and survive and live. So as far as work balance, I've learned that when I'm off the clock, I'm off the clock, and I'm going to do what I want to do and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Business wise, I'm working on that. I just have a lot of ideas that are in the works. So as far as investments, I've definitely gotten into investments business wise. I'm actually thinking about purchasing a space, just an empty space that can be
Talk to
used.
me before you do that and when you do that, please.
Yeah. So anyway, not in the, not nothing in particular, but there's ideas that I have, and
Yeah.
I want to be able to get multiple streams, at least 7 streams of income, so I don't have to do the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So
Just make sure there's 7 streams, not 7 trickles.
I need streams, baby. All right, Calvin, what you got?
No, that's exciting. That kind of stuff get me happy, man. All right, so we're wrapping it up. As far as work-life balance, that's difficult. All I can say is manage your time wisely. I try to manage my time between nonprofit, my own entrepreneur endeavors, working on my next book, and it's all about scheduling time.
Speaking about
I gotta
scheduling,
finish my book.
Yeah, man.
I got
Hey,
2
hey,
chapters
I would
left.
tell anybody, everybody say they wanna, shoulda, could, do it. Do it. Just start writing it. And you will be surprised what happens. And the opportunity that shows up for you to publish the book. It is easier than it's ever been before.
Absolutely it
It is crazy. So I would encourage everybody to try it. It's again, schedule your time. Prioritize, like Alan said, make your priorities, put it on a calendar, write your goals down, do all the basic things when you get a journal. That's something that's very important you should do and have. And as always, we love y'all.
wrap it up, B.
Hey, we love y'all. We tried to keep it under 30, but I think
Close
we missed the
enough.
mark.
Yeah, 30.
Close
Hey,
enough.
man, I hope you enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Grab life by the horns and all those other good mottos that you hear. And we out.
See y'all next week.
Yeah.